Let's do a little bit of an update video of what's going on in my life. There are some big pieces of news. I don't even know if you guys are interested in this type of content. This video will be in 3 parts. First of all, a big operation I have to go through. Second of all, my new job and my upcoming move to Hungary. And thirdly, my language updates. Big news is I have to go for an MMA surgery, which is something jaw surgery, maxillo something something. Basically, where do I begin? I have severe obstructive sleep apnea. I did a sleep test last year, and the longest that I went in one night without breathing was 13 seconds. Because my tongue, the base of my tongue is like very prominent, like it gets stuck in my throat like that. So when I lie down, my tongue goes back, and I make horrible like Gollum sounds in my sleep. People have told me I wake them up when they're in another room in the house from my snoring sounds. Anyway, I went to 2 ENTs. They both did scans, put the camera in my nose, and they're like, your sinuses are beautiful. We've never seen someone with such great sinuses. And I'm like, why can I not breathe? Like in the mornings and I choke really easily. Then I decided last month to go for a second opinion, and he put a camera down my nose and noticed that, in his words, the base of my tongue is like, my airway is very narrow, and the reason is my jaw is too far back. So maybe I'm supposed to be like not an underbite, but like that, but my jaw is like that, and that squishes the tongue. Then he sent me to a maxillofacial surgeon thing, and he's like, that's exactly what's happening, but it's not just your bottom jaw that has to go back, forward, it's also the upper jaw. And if you may have noticed, when I smile, a lot more gum shows here. I thought it's just how my smile is, no reason. My skull, the bones, this part, the upper jaw where the teeth are, literally is like that. Or yeah, it's like that. I have to go in like 2 or 3 weeks for a surgery where they literally will cut, like break my jaw and put in prosthetics, like like plates and screws, put it in to extend my jaw forward, the upper and lower jaw. Hopefully it's going to improve my breathing. My airways will open. About this bone being skew, I could sit into the video call with the doctor and the lady who has the 3D projection of all my teeth and jaws and skull. Super creepy seeing my own skull in 3D. In that call, the first thing the doctor instructed her to do, the surgeon, is to take this part and like tilt it up, and casually he's like, okay, so we're gonna have to cut some bone out. Okay, I'll just be having them cut bone away from my upper jaw and then break the bones here and put in thingies. Beyond scared. My brother sent this meme, which I thought was really relevant and funny. Hopefully that's me after the operation. It will take about 6 weeks of recovery. I'm gonna obviously have to drink soup, which I really like, soup and gloopy food, so I don't mind being on a liquidish diet for the first few weeks, but I'm not looking forward to the pain, the healing, the stitches, whatever. Please, thoughts and prayers. I am beyond scared. Now, an extra spanner in the works is the medical aid is not covering this operation. I don't know if it's the same in other countries, but there are medical codes for all kinds of procedures. The codes that my doctor gave for this surgery is under general dentistry. How is shifting the jaw, breaking the bone, putting prosthetics to help me breathe from obstructive sleep apnea, how is that general dentistry? Medical aid is like, yeah, it's dentistry, we're not gonna cover it. Can I tell you, this operation, it is 100,000 rand. I will put the dollar and the euro value up here so you can know how much money is 100,000 rand. I do not have 100,000 rand on me right now. Hopefully with the letter of motivation that my doctor wrote, we can convince medical aid that this is indeed not general dentistry and certainly a life-changing operation. But I will be selling my car before I go to Hungary. And I think what I'm gonna get from the value of my car will help cover the operation. So I will be fine here. The Lord will provide. I truly believe that. Just asking for thoughts and prayers that things will go smoothly. I have lived in South Africa for far too long now. You might know that I'm a TCK, which stands for Third Culture Kid. So even though I am South African, definitely don't feel very Afrikaans, at least. I grew up in Pakistan, France, the UAE, and spent significant time as an adult in Singapore and Japan. That's what I mean by I am very excited to leave South Africa, because it doesn't particularly feel like home. I have finished lecturing design at the university. I was teaching second, third, and fourth year UX design, branding, corporate identity, and airline branding. I'm very sad and really gonna miss my students because I'm moving to Hungary next year. I've been doing this for 3 or 4 years and really grew to love lecturing. It's one of my favorite things ever. But now I got a job as a product designer in Hungary, and I'll be moving probably February, March, first quarter of next year, depending on many factors. This week was my first week working remotely for said company. The people are so friendly. I really like Hungarians. I also have noticed, and this is something I really like, that they don't smile too much when there's no reason to smile. Being neurodivergent, I often question when people are genuine or not. So especially when people are like, hey, we should go for coffee, I really think that is you inviting me for coffee. And then I follow up, I'm like, hey, so when do you want to go for that coffee? And they're like, oh, I'm busy, and they don't reach out again. Apparently saying, oh my gosh, we should go for coffee is just being nice. I don't know. So what I like about at least the few Hungarians that I've met is that they're very direct, honest, and genuine. They say things as it is. I could be wrong, but this is what I've experienced. I do find that Korean culture is also very direct. From my experiences so far with Hungarian culture, I really enjoy that they are direct. It was like a really smooth introduction to the company's processes. Me and another new joiner had to do a app design challenge where we had Monday to Friday to fully interview people, conceptualize an app, do wireframes, information architecture of the app, the content, the UI design and prototyping, and then usability test the app within 5 days. I love a fast-paced environment, so that was great for me. The other guy, he was super nice. It was really nice to have like an onboarding buddy. We could enjoy this experience together, albeit through a computer screen. So since I didn't find it too difficult of a challenge, because I've been designing apps for 7-8 years, I decided to challenge myself a bit by working more on micro interactions and prototyping animations. So I'll put on the screen a recording of the prototype of the app while I talk you through it. So burnout and mental health issues are things that I very regularly have experienced in the last 4 years. And I decided to make this app for mental health, burnout recovery, mindfulness, blah, blah, blah. So the core features or flows on the app are that you can book events or talks related to mental health. You can do breathing exercises, listen to soundscapes, log your mood. It's obviously not a real app, just a concept, so not everything works. And I really enjoyed it. So I hope by now the video will have finished showing the full prototype. So that's exciting. And it really is nice. It really is nice working for a company that truly values design and research. And I've been freelancing and part-timing for the last 1.5 years. So it's lovely to be in an environment where there are more than 2 people. So you may know that I have ADHD. I was diagnosed, is it almost 2 years ago now? And I thought that with ADHD, I enjoy I'm able to do everything. Lecturing, YouTube, language coaching, design, freelance design, painting, ebooks, everything. And I thought I really valued having that flexibility, working for myself. And it was fun for a while, but I realized I truly could not manage my time. I wonder why. I just left things for the last minute. I got demotivated and discouraged because my time didn't work out. And now having a full-time job again, which I was scared of. I was like, oh my goodness, sitting in front of a computer for 6, 7, 8 hours, having work to do in one day. Turns out it is so nice having that structure again. And there's external pressure, which is good, because if I don't do my work, I will disappoint people. However, when I am just working for myself, if I don't do my work, oops, no one's gonna check up on me, that's my fault, and I'm upsetting myself. Here, I feel way more motivated to perform at a high level because there's that external pressure. Having very structured work hours helps because I know that I only have a certain amount of time after work in the evening to read, study my Bible, paint, make YouTube videos on the weekends, etc. And it really helps me time box everything I need to do more realistically than thinking, oh, I have a whole week of no full-time job, let me just do everything last minute. Then lastly, before this video gets too long, some language updates. If you want to hear about it more in detail, please leave a comment. But my basic language learning routine now is most of my time goes to Hungarian, and the 2 or 3 resources I use. Number 1 is Hungarian Pod 101 because I really like their podcasts. Number 2 is italki lessons, and 3 is talking to friends. I'm sorry, my SD card ran out of memory and it got darker and I've adjusted the lighting. What I was saying is I often take notes of entire conversations I have with Hungarian friends, language exchange partners, and I'll write the whole conversation and look up any new words. I've also been learning a few new words at work. We don't really speak Hungarian at work, it's mostly an English environment. But every now and then people will be like, oh, I don't know how to say that in English, so say it in Hungarian. It's been great. Then I'm also taking French lessons for 1 hour once or twice a week at Pardon My French, which my friend Riley started. You can check it out at pardonmyfrench.fr. He has a really great newsletter. So I take group lessons, which is a really nice change of atmosphere for me to have other people in the lesson as well. And it is a little bit above my level, which is good, but challenging at the end of the day when my brain is tired and I have to think of how to conjugate verbs again. But I'm really glad that I'm hopefully improving my French or putting some effort into French, which I've neglected for many years. And lastly, watching so many Spanish shows as usual that Spanish just comes into my head. And also Norwegian. Been really interested in Norwegian recently, watching a lot of Netflix shows in Norwegian. It is very similar to Afrikaans, so pretty easy to learn. I just don't put effort into Norwegian. It's not a priority for me, but it's really fun interacting with it. Then Korean and Japanese, mostly reading. I think that's really how I'm maintaining my Korean and Japanese now, is just reading a lot of books. I don't remember the last time I did much active studying for Korean or Japanese. What else? What other languages am I learning? Mandarin Chinese, I'm still, like, I have opportunities to practice it, read or listen to it a lot. It's a lot easier for me to listen than it is to read or speak, interestingly. So that one's kind of just hanging around the sidelines. It hasn't really improved since I've lived in Singapore. Love that for me. And then I also recently went to the Netherlands and pretty easily could transition from Afrikaans to Dutch. But I probably sound very Afrikaans and my Dutch grammar is terrible, but it was a great experience. So I think that is my biggest news, my update for the last month or so. If you have watched to the end, you are very appreciated because I never script these videos. I just ramble and I can go off on tangents. As usual, please leave a comment on what you would like me to make the next video about, because sometimes my mind goes blank. And hopefully I will make 2 or 3 more videos before I go for my operation, which will be on the 6th of December. 6th of December, 8 a.m. I go in for the surgery. So obviously I won't be able to talk much or be all swollen, so I won't be able to make videos for most of December. So I'm hoping to catch up and film a bunch of videos so that I can schedule them for you guys, that I don't just disappear for a month again. I hope you guys have a wonderful week ahead, wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next video.